Hi everybody, I'm Seamus.
I'm Rootscar.
And I'm Josh, and we are playing Deep Sea Diving Simulator 2103.
Indeed, and this is kind of an ambitious section because it's very open. In fact, it is perhaps perniciously open since it's really easy to legit get lost because you're underwater and it's murky as heck. It's not like open in the sense that like, oh, you could go anywhere and do anything. It's open in the sense of you could go anywhere before doing the thing you need to do.
Yeah, the underwater sections are often sort of like both too restrictive in that there's nothing to do and there's walls all over the place that, don't make a lot of sense. But then, so you can wander off the path, but there's not a lot to do. But then there aren't enough of these lights. Like, I'd stand at one light and I couldn't see the next goal. Oh,
I also like how these things are terrifying.
Wait, where'd it go?
And so is this little thing following you. Like, I was convinced when I first saw this thing that it's gonna, like... Because, like, it sort of backs off when you look at it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was convinced that it was getting closer every time and that it was eventually going to, like, zap you.
Stab you with its face light.
And some of that might just be the expectation when you're still thinking this has to be a horror game, so you're waiting for the game to, like, finally get around to trying to hurt you.
And I will say
now
that I haven't actually
unweld the door.
While I haven't actually played the segment, I actually like that it's open just because it adds to the sense that I'm not supposed to be here. And that there's no path it's not that I'm supposed to be following a path, it's that I'm stumbling around to this future place ass first.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I get it. I get that, it's annoying and maybe it could have been done better so that, like, you're subtly redirected to the right location. But yeah. I certainly don't mind that it's ambitious in its expectations of player patience and pathfinding.
Yeah, I've got a lot of complaints about this game, but I consider them all to be pretty minor. Like, there are a lot of little things that I wish they'd done this a little differently. But there's no one flaw that's just, like, ruins the game for me.
Right, even our big flaws are more flaws in our expectations than flaws in what the game was actually trying to do. Like, because obviously we have the big...
Go ahead.
Obviously, we have the big thing about, like, the monsters not being scary, but that's okay. The monsters didn't need to be scary. They just maybe needed to be less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain segments where you get to, you've maybe been dodging the monster for a while, and you get into a new segment, and you're like, oh, good, that's over. And then there's more monsters, and you're just like, what the fuck?
There are a couple really bad sticking points for me in the game. Just a couple points that pissed me off or kind of ruined my enjoyment, but they were temporary. And really, even when I complain about this game, I feel bad. This game tried something very difficult and didn't quite nail it. I think that's really, really admirable.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate this game, even though it didn't 100% work for me. Also, there is indeed a mod that lets the monsters... I love the sound of this. I installed it today, but I haven't played with it yet. The monsters no longer attack, but they still walk up to you and follow you, which apparently is super unnerving.
That's way scarier.
Yeah. And who is the artist? Who drew all these pictures?
This is Amy. We found her ID card. She was hanging out with Carl trying to shut down everything in Upsilon because the robots were getting out.
And go over to the apps page, see if she's installed Super Turbo Turkey Puncher 3.
So here's some more stuff about the comet that hit the planet and killed everybody.
I guess it's a good thing we never had any kids. Hard enough looking my parents.
Wow.
They're going to a bomb shelter
Saying,
upstate, by the way.
I guess it's a good thing we never had any kids. That's a rough way to start anything. That's not bearing the lead right there.
I hope they will. Hell, I'm not even
Yeah, I
Also-
think this game... Oh, go ahead.
if you do,
For a future tablet, do they need to interlace that JPEG so much?
No, why is everything broken in that specific way? Well, I know the reason why, so it's unsettling and it's not welcoming.
I guess what I'm trying to say is
So, isn't it possible though that this would have been scarier if it was like posted
difficult to be separated
over
from you.
just like a picture of some guy smiling going fishing or something?
Happy.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know. It's hard to judge. But this scramble screen motif doesn't make a ton of sense for future technology. I mean, but you know, I was willing to go with it. I'm like, sure, whatever.
I
You
like
need to
how
make
our future Magic tablet pads have room for one video on them, and it's a great big button. Alright, so basically, we need to get power to the shuttle so we can leave.
Wow, we sure are playing a video game. We have to turn on the power to the thing so we can ride the scripted
I thought this
subway.
was going to be like another one of those big, like, long crawly through dark corridor segments, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
There's not much more
So-
to it than that room and this thing back here.
Yeah, video games this is one of the biggest differences between video games and real life. Forget like bullet absorption or instant healing. It's like if the power fails in my life, I've got a flowchart. Have you tried flipping the breaker switches? Yes. Call management.
That's what we're going to do
Can't.
here.
Sit down and wait for the power to come back.
Management was annihilated. There is no management. Got blown up by a comet.
Yeah, and then sit down and wait for the power to come back on. Oh, hey buddy, you okay?
Are you?
Don't hurt me.
Can I help?
Did you see, Seamus, I couldn't resist using your "Are you okay there, buddy?" in my Battle Spire post.
What happened?
I loved
An
it.
accident. Fixing the
I
power.
didn't see that yet.
I was going to Theta.
Anything I can do?
If you see Masters or Holland,
So this woman's not a robot. This is just like a lady. And, you know, she's having
Yeah,
some trouble.
this is one of the few living people we will meet in this game. And you
Either
can murder
this
her.
is either this is a heartwarming example of a human-robot relationship in the future, or something's not right with her lungs right now.
Like,
Hey, is it okay if I plug my stuff into this power supply?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Oh, no?
so, you don't actually have to kill this person, but you do have to pull out one of these things. Can we put this back in? No, doesn't work. Although one could make
He's
the
trying to
argument
plug
that
in bare
killing her
wires.
is more merciful at this point.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. Like, that's a question the game sort of allows you to ask or not ask. It just sort of puts it out there. Like, here's a person that has no way to die. You don't know it yet, but the computer system here in charge of the save sphincters is keeping her alive by
Maybe this
pumping
will
her
help.
full of their future juice. And she has no way to die, but this is the
damn it, Jack.
extent of her existence right here.
I'll
This
make
is
you
all
warmer.
this is all she's ever gonna have, is you rubbing plastic boxes on her face for all eternity.
So if
Well,
you're
I mean,
not a
who
place in
wouldn't
your
want
life right
to have
now,
me rub plastic boxes on
if
their
you're
face
not in a
at
place
least
in your
once?
life right now where you want heavy shit dropped on you in a non-literal Josh is fucking around sense, but like if you don't
I-
want to have depressing stuff on your YouTube every week, maybe wait until we play Fallout 4. That's a different kind of depressing.
It's a totally
This
different
game-
apocalypse.
This game does not mess around. It is really sad.
So I'm sticking around here because I want to point out, like, this annoys me, because you can pull out both of these power things, and I think, does it turn on the safety systems? I don't know. I've never actually killed this person. I figured this was like the moral choice. You either kill this person to save yourself and escape unscathed and skip some of the lame, like oh no, I'm doomed gameplay segments, or you leave her alive and take your chances with the broken safety systems. But this doesn't actually have any effect whatsoever on
right.
the game.
I think the interesting thing, and the thing I like, is this game doesn't really have any moral choices. At most, it has ethical choices. It has kind of abstract, like, because morals are like, you know, I punched a guy to get a candy bar. Like, that's wrong. This is not calculus.
Yeah.
This game
What was
is
I doing to
about
others?
the rules. This game is about, when it gets right down to it, when you take these relatively abstract rules that we have constructed and apply it to the terrifying reality we don't really want to acknowledge exists, and like the syntax and the technicalities
Oh no, God, no!
of
Fuck.
biology, like,
Jesus Christ.
what's your
the hell?
call?
Yeah. Like, imagine, okay, pandas are going
Go that
extinct. They are going extinct. It's over. There's not enough left for them to continue. And you find you get to be in the room with one of the very last pandas. And it's suffering. It's in a ton of pain. And you get to be the person to see one of the last pandas alive. Are you going to put this animal out of its misery and just like, oh, it's the last panda, and I'll just kill it to put it out of its misery? Or will you allow it to live because you want them to continue? But by the way, it's not a panda, it's a human being.
Warning. Unreliable power. Proceed.
Yeah, it's funny you say that,
Shut up,
because
Jane.
actually people are faced with a similar dilemma for pandas, which is that pandas are going extinct. There's probably nothing we could really do about it, and it costs a lot of resources to keep them on life support that we could be using to save thousands of other species.
Yeah.
So actual biologists are trapped in a very similar ethical dilemma, which I just thought I'd bring up since it was so directly relevant. I figured somebody would bring up the comments if you didn't. So this is a tram. The great thing about trams
It
in video
reaches
games
its destination with no problem, like
Yeah.
all video game trams.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a pretty well engineered piece of technology.
Oh.
And yeah, let's just enjoy the ride.
What started as a thermal mining operation.
Do you remember
I
the part
appreciate-
in Doom 3
Why do they
where you
have tourist information in the
part in Doom
shuttles
3 where
for
you
a
were-
research base?
Location allows for this gigantic coil gun.
You're a tourist, Josh. You don't know anything. This is obviously
I
relevant to
guess.
you. Do you remember
Are they
the part in Doom 3
anticipating
where you
this sort
got
of
on
tourism?
the tram and then you rode to your destination and nothing bad happened and everything was okay and the tram worked perfectly? That was one of my favorite parts of the game.
Right. I just can't get enough of accurately functioning trams in video games. You know, it's funny because I actually am thinking of one game where, like, they put you on a train that should have worked, but that it was a complete catastrophe. What was it called? Oh, yeah, right. It was Trains.
Site of the Omega Space Company. The shuttle tunnel to Tau is still being constructed.
I will link to that in the show notes because that's one of my favorites.
Please use the climber at Omicron to reach Tau, and then continue to 5 via the
Whenever
access
anyone says
tunnel.
the word trains, I hear mumbles in my head saying trades are old-timey times. Yep. Enjoy the ride, Josh.
So this
Enjoy
is
the safe,
clearly what we're
comfortable
doing
ride.
is exploring the moral and ethical quandaries of putting your train on a road.
What? Oh, hit the speed bump. Tap the brakes. Did you tap the brakes?
I can't find the lever or the pedal or whatever.
See, when you hit that sort of thing,
pedals?
Josh, you want
The
to turn
crank.
into it.
You need to turn the crank, and then you need to work the bellows.
Oh, okay. You know, I really appreciate the restraint that this game showed by, when you get into the tram, not having it just literally turn into actual shit immediately.
Right. That you actually traveled some distance, so you get the sense that, hey, I traveled a few miles there, so that was worth it. It wasn't, you don't immediately regret, like, well, why did you make me get in this thing and then have it blow up and make me walk anyway? That's
Yeah.
annoying.
There's basically two ways to do trams in video games. The first is you get in the tram, it fades to black, and then it fades in when you're reaching your destination after a loading
Someone's
screen.
calling.
That's creepy.
That
Is
is.
it an
I
awful
don't
noise?
remember this.
Is it an awful noise calling us? No?
Catherine,
Okay,
is that you?
it's a person?
I was on my way, but then the shuttle train, it fucking crashed.
Are you alright? The system says the section
Nice of the system
No,
to tell us
I'm
that
not
ahead of
alright. What the hell
time.
happened to the world? Why are we underwater?
Wow, you're really out of place, aren't you? Look, don't worry about that right now. I realize you're confused, but you
Don't
know
worry
where
about
we're at.
don't worry about the extinction of our species. Just concentrate on gathering up this bullshit that I have for you to do.
It is pretty clear
There's
that
also
Catherine,
like, so this,
It'll lead outside.
to Catherine, you are a windfall. You are not a partner. You are not somebody who's suffering alongside her. You are
Yeah.
a completely unexpected asset. She's like, oh, maybe I can use this to solve the problem.
You okay?
You don't need to know anything. You just need to go to here and do that.
so that conversation kind of illustrates some of the problems that I think we all have with Simon in this game, which is that, what's all the way down here?
He's a little dense.
He's kind of a total idiot. And I think some of that is because, like the immediate question I would have after seeing what I saw in Upsilon in the communication center is, why the fuck is it 2103 and the world blew up? What happened? Not why are we underwater? I got this is some sort of underwater base. I get that. Okay, I'm with you there. I'm following you. Somehow I got transported to the future and I'm in an underwater base. Okay, fine, good. Oh, by the way, humanity is extinct.
Okay, Catherine, listen, this is weird. Can you just tell me where to go to the bus station? I was gonna catch a movie in Toronto tonight, so...
And I think part of the problem is that they wanted to make it so that, like, they wouldn't just be talking about a bunch of, like, stuff that you read that was optional that you didn't have to read. But I think it would have been better if they just accepted that possibility that some players would be skipping everything and then be left going, wait, what the hell are you talking about? Rather than have Simon come off as, like, a kind of daft.
I think a big problem is some of the ideas in this game are pretty heady. Now, this strikes us as like, I've read sci-fi, you know, brain swapping into robots. This is old hat. I've read this in stories a bunch of times, but that's not true.
We haven't
of
gotten to
everybody.
that point yet, Seamus, so congratulations for explicitly spoiling the plot of this game.
I thought we did that last week. Who cares? The point is, this game deals with a lot of heady subjects, and that's just one of them. And that's old hat if you read a lot of sci-fi, but if you don't, some of this stuff is going to come off as weird. And if the game drops it too matter-of-factly, you might wind up with people that just feel like they have no frame of reference, they don't know what's going on. And so the authors wanted to make sure Simon was there asking questions for us and making things clear.
Yeah,
so that
I
we
get that
understand.
Simon is a fish out of water, underwater, in the
So
future.
normally I would,
But
and honestly I
wish he'd
should.
been a little... Sorry,
A little
keep going.
more.
Yeah, a little less...
Normally I would, and I probably should be chastising Josh for bunny hopping, but really this is so
so
boring
fun.
that I can't ask him in good conscience to just walk this whole route without doing anything but touching the W key. That's just... I wouldn't want to do that. So, guys, if you're getting sick, just close your eyes until I say to open them, or, like, I don't know, play Minesweeper or something. It's, you know...
Do you need to
Help him out
spin
here.
like a ballerina while you do this? I think that is...
It's important. It makes me feel young again.
Oh, fuck. I've got this blown up on a giant-ass monitor right now. I'm not having a good time.